It was pretty bad. I mean, the action running chasing sequences just kind of went on and on and on, and there were so many of them that like halfway through I started tuning out whenever they would start running and people were chasing them.
I was entertained as I watched it. I don't know that I ever need to see it again in my lifetime.
It felt like Mummy without any of the things that would draw you into it.
It was Jake Gyllenhaal running around the desert for 2 hours. I mean, I'm straight, but damn. No, it was fun. I enjoyed it. I liked it. It needs to grow on me though.
Like it was 2 hours of him running.
Yeah.
And after a while, it was just the same thing over and over and over, and I started tuning out. I was just like, all right. When somebody starts talking,
it definitely felt like it was out of a video game because I felt that there were different levels of different people that he now has to battle. Yeah, there was just different.
Like there's that, and I thought the very beginning was pretty just thrown together. His whole origin story of like, I'm the street urchin who saved a kid who's now a prince. I'm like, okay, Aladdin.
Yeah,
you know,
he jumps across the rooftops just the same. And why did Jake Gyllenhaal invent parkour in ancient Persia?
Because I've played the game, so I know that like you can like do all the running on the walls. And so I was watching for that. But then I got to the point of like the first half of the film, I was kind of like, okay, pick it up a little bit, you know. And then I liked when they brought in Alfred Molina and that whole thing. And then it got going after that point. But until then, I was like, okay, get to it. They're, you know, the princess and him are bickering back and forth constantly, and it got to be a little bit too much.
Well, I think maybe that's what it was, is they kept introducing so many things. Everything wasn't introduced in the beginning. So every time they would introduce something new, I would be like, all right, well, maybe now it's going to start. And it didn't. And then they would introduce something new, and I'd be like, all right, here we go.
You had the love story that they were following. You've got the comic relief with the ostrich races. And it just wasn't anything new. Like you're saying, there was like
it was the Scorpion King. I said the Mummy, but really the Scorpion King. You know, there wasn't. I didn't care when the brothers died. I didn't care when the dad died. I didn't have any real emotional connection with any of them. And I'm sitting there thinking, okay, well, when is something going to happen that I'm going to really care about? It was entertaining, but
Stephen Sommers should have written and directed this film. I mean, you know, because you keep bringing Mummy up, and I was thinking Mummy the whole time. And I'm like, Stephen Sommers, just, you know, don't do G.I. Joe 2. Come back and do this, you know. But I thought that, yeah, there wasn't a lot of build-up of his character. There wasn't a lot of build-up between him and the dad or the king and that whole thing. And the brothers, like, I kind of like, I was like, you know. But the Tusk guy, when they had that connection, when the realization, and then, you know, Kingsley came in and sliced him, I was like, damn, holy shit, like that was
so late in the movie.
It was, yeah.
Like, you know, I don't really have high expectations. My one saving thing that I'm holding out hope for is Jake Gyllenhaal doesn't generally do really awful movies, except for The Day After Tomorrow. Well, so this is like The Day After Tomorrow Part 2 for Mr. Gyllenhaal.
If someone had said to you 3 years ago, Jake Gyllenhaal is going to do a movie where he's an action star in this film.
No,
I mean, when I first saw the preview for it, I was like, I don't know. I'm going to have to see that one to see if he's able to pull that.
No, and I totally get it, because he does all these serious, dark roles. I mean, who wouldn't want to do something fun where you get to run around and sword fight?
And it's going to be really great for his career. He's reinventing himself like Matt Damon did with the Bourne movies.
He did an okay job. Like he was fun. I thought the princess was fun. They had a good interaction together. I mean, Ben Kingsley as a bad guy, you know what you're getting in for. You know, he does that pretty well. But I just didn't think that the story they didn't tie it together very well. Then like you had like the assassins and they're all mysticism shit, and I was thinking about the Clash of the Titans during that scene. It was so much mishmash stuff. And then I started thinking about the director, and I'm like, it's Mike Newell who did Harry Potter Goblet of Fire and took that story and then just like, I don't know, raped it.
Action adventure movies, Indiana Jones, and like you said, The Mummy, and those people, Harrison Ford and Brendan Fraser, in those movies had great charm, you know. And Jake Gyllenhaal is decent, but he wasn't as roguish as those other guys were in those characters.
They were more likable because neither one of them were action heroes. They were normal people that got thrown into these crazy situations and they dealt with it. He's like, obviously, he was an action hero from the time he was a kid. Like, he was 5 years old and he was already an action hero.
Yeah.
That was ridiculous.
The acting was good. I thought all the elements were there. They just didn't really come together that well.
The editing was a big problem. I thought the editing was too frenetic, and it didn't like do enough to draw the fight scenes together. It felt very Paul Greengrass, Bourne Supremacy-ish.
I feel like they kept changing the look of it when you would see like the assassins running on their horses. Like it was all of a sudden grainier, and it was a different kind of camera style. I'm like, why are they switching to this? It doesn't make any sense.
Horses running and where it got all black all of a sudden, and it reminded me of the horses running in Harry Potter.
All right, well, no, it's like I was watching it and I'm thinking, okay, they better. I really hope that they don't wrap everything up in the end, like that they don't go back, they don't fix it, they maybe stop what's going on, but the world is left as is. Because in this film, everything gets wrapped up and handed to you in a nice little bow at the end of the film, and I think that's probably what caused most of us to get kind of, you know, like we saw this coming. It's
like what leaves you with that bit of an empty feeling is that there was nothing, there were no consequences.
There's like no substance to it, unfortunately. It's fun action, but story and characters and substance, I think that's what was missing, is like there was no heart. It was all about heart and family, but they didn't do anything to showcase it. They didn't build it up. They didn't want you to fall in love with the characters and want to come back. In Pirates of the Caribbean, same producer, same studio, you know, you had Jack Sparrow, who was like this lovable scamp, and you get to know him as it progresses, and you like him.
Those chemistry moments that you would have in that, or in Pirates of the Caribbean, or the moments that you would have in Mummy or Scorpion King. They just didn't have those moments. I think it's a good date movie or a movie to take the kids to. I don't think that it's a film that you may want to see more than once, but once is fine. Keep your expectations low and just enjoy it.
It's a fun adventure. Makes me want to play the game. And yeah, it's worth a good one-time view.
I mean, I guess you could see it once. I think it would have been better in an hour and a half if it was condensed. I mean, the acting was good, visually it was good.
I think that it was a fun film. I look forward to sequels because, you know, it's going to gross enough to do it. I just wish that they would focus more on the story and less on the crazy editing and maybe tie it together a bit more. But it's fun. I say take the kids to see it. It's non-threatening. It's some violence, but the kids will enjoy it. So, yeah, that's where it's going to make its money.